Okay, so I'm going to try something I've never done before, and that's to record a lesson for my students who are missing. And what we're going to do is we're going to do an activity that's going to help us understand the Pythagorean Theorem, and we're actually going to use origami to prove the Pythagorean Theorem. So the first thing you need is a piece of graph paper. If you have a composition book that has graph paper in it, you can just use a page of that graph paper. It's going to be on page 19. If you're using line graph paper, then use one of these cut out pieces of paper, and then we'll just glue stick it into the book. So I want you to first go to the lower left hand corner. Zoom in on that. Oops. I don't want to do that. So we're going to go to the lower left hand corner and see if we can focus that. Okay, so it's having a hard time focusing. So I'm going to go over about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe, and up 3. It doesn't matter exactly, but I don't want you to start right at the bottom of the paper. And so let's zoom out a little bit. Okay, so we're in this lower left-hand corner, and I want you to go over 3 squares and make a mark. And then 3 squares and make a mark, and make 7 marks. Just 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? Now, starting with this mark, I want you to go up and make 4 marks. Again, skipping every 3 boxes. So, 1, 2, 3, make a mark. 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 And now I'm going to go over. We're actually making a 4x4 grid. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then down, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to make that 4x4 grid. So I want to line up the ruler on those blue lines and just create a 4x4 grid. 1, 2, 3, 5 lines is going to give me 4 spaces, and then I'm going to go vertically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines is going to give me 4 spaces. So I have a 4x4 grid. Okay. So now what I want to do is, based on this line right here, I want to make a 3x3 grid. So I'm going to start here in this upper left hand corner. I'm going to go over 3, make a mark, over 3, make a mark, over 3, make a mark. And these should correspond to the marks you have down here. I just put those there to make sure that this was set far enough away from the edge. And then I'm going to go up 3, 1, up 3, up 3, over 3, over 3, and over 3, and then down and down. So I'm making a grid, a 3x3 grid. Each square of the grid has 9 little grid boxes in it. And then I'm going to, again, like I did before, draw the line and connect those. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of paper, and whether you're working in a gridded composition book or not, you're going to want to have a half a piece of paper that has the same grid spacing as this paper. And because I cut it in half, this edge is not as nice as it could be. So I'm going to go down a couple grids and then fold right along this blue line so I can have a nice clean edge. Okay, so now what I did, I took my paper that didn't have the best edge and I just folded it over on that line so that it's got a nice clean edge. I'm going to take my paper and see where these two lines line up. Let's zoom in there. Where these two lines line up, I'm going to take a grid at least 3 away from the edge, sort of in the middle of the paper. And I'm going to line that grid up right at that intersection. So this grid right here is going to go at that intersection. So let me zoom out so you can see what that looks like on the larger piece. Okay, you see I'm a bit in from the edge and I'm right there on that intersection. Now what I'm going to do, keeping that point in place, I'm going to pivot my piece so that it lines up down here. So now let's zoom in on that. And where this intersects, I want to bring my grid down and mark that grid. Okay? So you can see it fits just perfectly in there. And the question you want to ask without counting is, well, how long is that side? How long is that side? What do you think? Okay, so take a minute. You can pause the lesson and think about that, because I'm about to tell you and I don't want to spoil it for you. Okay, it turns out that length, well, let's see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So this is going to be 5, and I'm going to do just what I did before. I'm going to make a grid that's 5 by 5. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what I want. Now over 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then down. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? And connect those, make a 5 by 5 grid, just like we did before. Okay, and that's going to fit right there. The nice thing about this is if it's going too fast, you can pause it, you can rewind it, and follow along what's doing. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a pocket. So I want to mark 3 grids around right? I've got 3 grid spacings here around my piece, and I'm basically making a dotted line so I know where to cut. And I'm actually going to cut this out. That's why I needed it away from the edge. Okay, so I'm going to cut it out along that dotted line. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to make a pocket, but I want the pocket to open this way. So I want to leave this side open. So I'm going to fold along this edge. So now the edge I had previously folded is here. I'm going to fold along this edge, and I'm going to fold along the back side. And that's going to fit right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my glue stick, and I'm going to put glue just on the lip. And then I'm going to place my piece right like that, so I have a pocket. And then you'll see we're going to make something actually to put in the pocket. Okay, careful with the glue stick. Okay, and hopefully this side is open so we can put something in it. All right, that's the first step. Now we're going to do some math. So I'm going to take a minute and pause this, and then the next step is we're going to do some math.